Hey everybody, Dave again. So this is our second video on the understanding of how we use the D2 process or second derivative process in our analytic models. So what we're going to try and do in this video is we're going to give you a little bit more of a explanation and understanding of how our trading system or algorithms are made up. You can see those again at the top. And if we remember back from our first lesson, the algorithms, the performance of trading over time, so the profit and loss of all the trades is summed together, and this creates our equity curve as you see down below. So the primary reason as to why we don't just use the trading system on its own is I'm actually looking for the trading system performance to tell me certain things about the market behavior. And the second derivative modeling is excellent at telling us certain things about market behavior based on the design of the actual trading system algorithm itself at the top. So in the case of the longer term portfolio models, the way we've set up the trading system is to kind of give us an idea of when the market's going to be trending versus chopping and give it a slightly upward bias. And when we go through the example of how that works, you'll see what we're talking about. In this particular example, what we have right here is again, we have our trading system on the top, we have our equity curve down below. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the algorithmic lines that we use for basic analysis of the equity curve. So in this case, what you can clearly see is that now there's a series of different types of rolling averages. They're not necessarily averages. They're modified exponential linear regression curves, but basically the concept is pretty much the same idea. Now, the primary thing, as I said before, is if I know how I built the system so that I know a particular trading system and how it works. If the trading system is working well based on it being built to work well in a certain environment, then I can kind of understand what the market environment is, and then I can use that as my analytic tool. So in the example that we have on our screen right now, what we can see is we have a couple of lines that I've superimposed on this. And so the first line is, basically just showing that it's an upward market. This particular trading system is actually a trading system that A is bullish bias, which means that it's biased to perform well in upward markets, but also has a chop component in the sense that it performs best when the markets are actually moving up and down. And that in general tends to be the sweet spot. So for this particular model, we're actually looking for the model to sort of identify the type of environment that we're in. But what can be clearly seen is, if you'll notice here, is that when the market's in this upward trend, you can see that the equity curve is actually performing and is an upward sloping market. At the peak of this market, you'll notice that the equity curve begins to peak, and you'll see that during the period of market decline during the red, you'll see that the equity curve is in fact actually falling. So in this particular case, what we're trying to do is we're trying to identify a type of market that is found, or pardon me, identify the market trend, hopefully participate in the chop levels of the program over time. And so how we do this in terms of performance is you can see at the very bottom of the trading system window that there's a specific type of indicator. And basically the idea is that this particular indicator tries to help us, let us know, if a trading system is working and if a trading system is not working. And one of the critical things, or the interesting things about this particular process is, and this is what makes the D2 process kind of a unique model.
Order filled.
You know what? Sorry about that. We're now working on live trading, and so we just had a real-time trading system signal go off. But anyway, so in this particular case, The line that I have highlighted here that we can see, that this is our longer term modeling line. Okay, and so basically the theory is that whenever we're above this particular line, the trading system is actually an environment where it's the market is matched up with the environment that the trading system works the best in. Whenever we're below that particular line, that tends to be an environment where the trading system does not work best. So, going back to what I said previously, that tends to be a period where the market's moving up and down, that we're into an environment where the market tends to be up and when it's not working. But one of the unique aspects of the trading system, and we'll see this in more detail when I bring in the negative side of the system, is that in fact if a trading system where the market moves to an environment where the system is not working, that in itself, actually, what we have found is actually a pretty good opportunity to just flip the system around and actually create some positive profit by going against the trading system. And this is the whole concept of flipping the equity curves. And you can see that it's color coded here so that when the system gets above this, that we're matching the trading system signals. So the portfolio is going long when the system says to go long, and it's going short when the system tells to go short. And then what happens is we can see that we have a secondary modeling process that basically we put the system into neutral. Because sometimes what will happen is that there will be a large move in the trading system, and what will happen is that the system may end up giving back some of its profits. So what we're looking to do is actually use a little bit of money management. Then once we're up, we're going to lock in by stopping the trading at this point. So you can see at the very bottom of the indicator, the blue line crisscrosses back and forth, which is actually just representing what the position of the trading system above is actually stopped trading. So even though the environment is right for this, so when the system is actually in line, we have a green. When the system is negative, you can see right in here where we fall below and we get below the yellow curve, you can actually see that in this particular case, we're actually going the opposite. And the reason why this can be very effective is that in a negative environment like we just went through from this particular period right here, what we're doing is actually flipping the equity curve. So in fact, not only we wouldn't be losing money at this particular point, we're actually making money. So the more that the equity curve begins to decline, and reaches this particular point right in here, we're actually making the difference between those. So again, it's a bit of a tough concept to understand, but basically when we flip the equity curve around, we're actually making the difference between 44,000 per contract and 41. So instead of losing 3, we're actually made 3. And this is kind of the big concept that we work with the D2 modeling, because we know that when the trading system is not necessarily working, there's still a great opportunity for us to get into the market. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in and show you an example of the negative trading system. And what we can see is that this is the same kind of modeling, but it's a system that doesn't necessarily it tends to perform better when the market is choppy, and it tends to perform better when the market is negative. So that's the idea. So here's an example. If we go back and we look at this, you can see that basically on each of the charts, they're showing the exact same period in the equity market. So you can see that this period is the same as this period. But what you'll notice is that while this trading system, the bullish one on the left, is profiting, the trading system on the right is actually negative. Now, what makes this a very interesting model is, again, by using the flip system, we actually see that this trading system goes into a lower trend, and it actually flips itself into a long position, and it actually stays in, to a trade, gets out, and jumps back in. And again, this is another example of how the trading system tends to work in different types of environments. And so, if we want to find a negative equity curve, here's a point where if we look at this on the other market, we can see that, again, the positive trading system that we talked about using our first example on the left, you can see that the equity curve is not working. It's a negative market. The equity curve is not working, but you can also see at the same point right here that while that curve is not working, the short-term trading system is showing a really strong gain in its equity curve. So again, the whole concept of the flip system or the D2 modeling is that it gives us an opportunity to make sure that we're on the right side of the market, also to participate whenever there's an opportunity, and it helps us identify what we're doing.